How you doing? It is Dan McDonald, and this is a video for the Insiders Club. I wanted to say hello. I'm going to make a juice here for my ex-wife Terry. She is a huge raw foodist now, but in the very beginning she thought I was a little bit crazy. Now she really loves the raw foods, especially the juices. This is actually dinner time, and so I have trained her well. Juice for dinner is a really good idea. You'll wake up very fresh the next day if you have juice for dinner. So it's a great idea. I've got a little recipe here for you. And then what I'll do, I made another video. I think the last one you just saw that was a couple days ago was supposed to be about the benefits of juicing, but then I don't know, I went off on one of my DTM tangents and we ended up in no man's land, but I think it was fun. And I always have this trust now that whatever comes through needs to come through, because I'll get these messages from people that are very specific. I needed that today. You know, so I'm kind of just feel like I'm being used sometimes for the good of the whole, because I'm really excited about fruits and vegetables. I love juices, I love smoothies, I love salads, I love fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, natural foods. It's something that just gets me excited. It's like a gift from Mother Nature. It seems to be coherent with the laws of God, with this eternal kind of flow with the raw foods and the living foods. And there's a million different reasons. So I'll go over real quick before I make this juice. I'll just wrap with you real quick to get you inspired and motivated to get a juicer if you don't have one already, and to use it every single day. And to use foods like beets, which is like an internal makeup for your body. Carrots, which are very nourishing and good for the kidneys. Celery, which is mineral rich and good for cellular permeability to help all the other nutrients to absorb. There's ginger, which is like a medicine. It's an anti-nausea. It's a cardiovascular stimulant and tonic. It's a digestive aid. You've got apples, which keep your veins and your colon clear. The pectin's in there. Lemon is one of the top healing medicines for human beings to keep the cells toned up. I've also got some stinging nettles here that I picked today, and I'm going to throw some spinach in there. The stinging nettles are filled with a lot of minerals and nutrients. I made a salad dressing recipe on the YouTube. You might want to check out if you didn't see that, for Natea, which was like a basil, cucumber, and avocado dressing, but I threw the stinging nettles in there for some extra nutrients because she's trying to keep her hair really nice and strong. And these herbs, these leafy green herbs with a lot of minerals, especially the stinging nettles, which is available in a lot of parts of the world. And they're popping up right now in the Pacific Northwest in a major way. So I went and picked some of those. I'm going to throw some here in the juice for Terry. And the spinach here is just loaded with amino acids. So with a combination like this, and I'll reiterate, you get your little pen and paper out and reverse it here. It's a great combo. This is very delicious, very nourishing, and extremely high in lots of beneficial antioxidants, as well as all the healing properties of these foods that we just talked about. So we've got apple, carrot, beet, celery, ginger, lemon, and we've got the stinging nettle, and we've got the spinach. So you've got just an amazing combo that tastes delicious, that is going to satisfy, nourish you, nurture you, and energize every cell in your body. That's the beauty of the juices. It's just like a pure blood transfusion every time. The brain loves to run on glucose or sugars. It also does very well with running off of fat, but you have to understand the nature of like water fasting, or even being an infant when you were mostly running off of the breast milk, which is mostly fat. But right now, as adults, we pretty much run on sugar. It's a preferred type of fuel. It's simple, it's easy, and it's economical. And so when you feed yourself these juices, you're feeding your brain. It's like antidepressant. I've been talking to my mom, who's had some issues, and she's really trying to break through. In fact, she you know, I'll keep it a little bit private, but you know, she just took herself off all meds. Well, you can't really do that after you've been on medication for a long time. You have to be real smart. You know, she did it. She went through it. She's in the hospital, because that's what happens if you go off, if you take 4, 5, 6, 8 medications. God knows how many they've got you on these days. I don't take any. I got my medicine right here, the fruits and the vegetable juices. But if you come off too quick, you know, you're going to have major detoxification. That's why it's important to go real slow. That's why it's like the first thing to start out for the average Joe out there. I don't know where you're at in your, what level you're at, but for the average person just getting started, 1 juice a day is a great place to start. Some steamed veggies, work your way into like wholesome, organic, vegetarian, vegan, then raw. You know, and then if you're like me and you're clean inside, you can just live off raw foods completely. But the daily juicing habit is a really beautiful thing to do to flood the body with nutrition. And it starts to change the taste buds. And it also builds the blood. It feeds the brain, which will help with the antidepressant stuff. So I told my mom, hey, you know, let me just come down there for a week and really get you on the program here, because, you know, I've helped a lot of people to come off antidepressant medications and stuff like that. And it's like, I will tell you, the fruits are the best medicine for depression, as well as actually dealing with your issues. That's the thing. I mean, what is depression? It's you carrying around piles and piles and piles of heaviness that you haven't been able to process, because sometimes the process of processing traumas, hurts, and sort of things that go against your worldview, like this, it's going against my worldview, right? And so you're like, no, I can't deal with that. I'm going to shove that down and put it away. Well, now what do you got to do? You got to eat pizza. You got to drink beer. You got to watch porn. You got to do everything and anything you can. You got to make money. People become exercise addicts. They get addicted to the raw food diet. They get addicted to everything and anything to find escape from actually having to sit there and be present as your feelings are being released through the process of true and deep spiritual, physical, emotional, and mental detoxification. So I can't go into anything specific necessarily, but I want to encourage that these raw foods is a huge step. These juices, the raw foods, a huge step in beginning the process of examining your relationship with food and how you use it to suppress yourself. You know what I mean? And moving into the raw foods, at least, I mean, that if you, even with raw foods, if you're eating emotionally, you're doing a lot less damage. The cooked foods, they don't resonate with me at all. And there's a lot of stuff going on out there about, you know, elitists and all that kind of thing. But that's just, you know, that's not really true. That's like, I'm talking about every elephant that's ever lived on the history of the planet is a raw foodist. Every giraffe, every monkey, every amoeba, every worm, every single other living organism on the planet is a 100% raw foodist. And then there's the excuse, oh, but we have bigger brains. Yeah, but we're not using them, because the common sense of it all, if you have a bigger brain and you can see that every single other living organism on the planet since the inception of the planet up until this time, except for the human beings who have now created this fire and this way to take foods that are otherwise not edible, which can be construed as intelligence. But then we go to ourselves, well, if those foods weren't natural in the first place and needed heat to be consumed, and now we have available to us plenty of foods which do not need to be cooked, we could jump through that survival phase and jump straight into the thriving phase. Do you want to thrive? Do you want to feel well? Do you want to feel electrified, illuminated, and awake and alive?